Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to the exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. This evening's scene will take place in Dublin's Changeling Market. It is unfortunately a very drab place recently, as the plague and the war have taken their toll on the Cathane population, meaning that the street vendors who attempt to vend their wares, well, the fruit is not exactly fresh and succulent, and the meat has unfortunately seen better days, but many of them make a good show of trying to keep up the morale. Tintagel, Flickerflame, Apdougal, Count of the Realm, etc. He's going to be sitting under an awning today outside his favorite tavern, the Spitted Boar. On either side of his table, there will be two very large female troll attendants who are seeing to his needs, whilst the poor little boggin who is responsible for this establishment bops in and out, refilling his wine and seeing to his meal. After all, when you're serving a count, you need to know that, shall we say, everything is just so. Just so. And, you know what? Fuck it. He will be talking to Bells as he scribes on his piece of paper.
Sweet. They're just talking about bullshit. Just like, what do you use to moisturize? Oh, that's a good idea. Literally,
I
scribes on
like
the
to think that they
moisturizer.
do actually exchange moisturizing tips. This is totally a thing now.
Deal.
There we go. He will look down at his papers and he'll kind of furrow his brow for a moment as he's doing complicated mathematics in his head before he will sigh and crumple up the piece of paper and throw it casually into the brazier of the fire that's keeping them both toasty.
Now, what you want, my lord? Oh, is that how is
No,
that out of character? Is that the proper way you address
it's either my lord or your excellency, whichever you prefer. He doesn't really care
my
at this
lord?
point. Mm.
Not your liking?
No, it's not right yet. Unfortunately, if the nobles continue to close off their freeholds, it means that there won't be a steady glamour supply going to the commoners, and therein lies the problem. Huh. How is the universe according to Bells?
Could be better, could be worse.
Mhm.
War's coming, but war is never a positive thing.
No. However, if we get much weaker, we won't be able to secure the northern frontier anymore, and Ulster will simply have its way with us as we're held down and defenseless, unfortunately. So we keep
Yeah.
needing to send what limited manpower we have to the northern front.
On the upside, summer break is in, so I'm seeing a lot of kids at my daycare.
You have a
It's always nice to
daycare?
see them. I work at a daycare. My lord, what do you think I do when I'm not hanging out with you?
I assumed you gossiped.
I mean, of course I gossip. Did you not know 3-year-olds are the best source of gossip? They don't care what you say, but they laugh anyway.
I accept this logic. I accept this logic.
I'm glad that you do, my lord.
If anyone would like to join us, you can feel free to do so.
I think at this point Raven will enter. And she will see Bells and Count Tintagel and make her way over to a table and order herself probably a whiskey.
Tintagel will just, without thinking, he'll refill Bells' glass from the wine decanter that they're drinking out of. Just like, or.
Takes it elegantly, because she's an elegant bitch.
Hashtag that plus dexterity, though. That's always useful to be graceful as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he'll look up from his copious amounts of paperwork as he'll look at Raven and he'll incline his head slightly.
Good evening, Your Excellency.
I assume that you're well, my lady.
I am. You look particularly grumpy today. Is something...
No, I did have a question. Does Baroness Stormfury intend to close her freehold to the public, or no? Do you know off the top of your head?
I have not spoken of such matters with her, but to the best of my knowledge, she has not declared she would do so.
Excellent. Now it's just a matter of convincing the other barons that the world isn't bloody ending.
Well, to that I wish you the best of luck.
Well, needless to say, I'll intend to do my best. This is why I've taken up drinking. I find it eases life's passages.
That it does. That it does.
Anyone else? Temps with me. No. Katie's here. Temps with a piece of candy.
Oh no.
Yes. New person. Come join us. Grab your hands.
Right. So you're outside outside a tavern, you said?
We're currently sitting outside a tavern. They're basically, the way I'll describe it is it's almost like a picnic chair, but the picnic table has been set up in rightish. So rather than actually sitting in a picnic chair, Tintagel is sitting in a high backed chair facing a picnic table. He is currently kind of nearly half hidden behind a gigantic mound of papers that he's currently working his way through. There's a decanter of wine on the table, and there's probably a whole array of very fancy food that's been spread all down the table that Bells is probably occasionally picking at.
Okay.
Yes.
So if it's off like the street, I guess, in full view of everybody and probably drawing quite a few stares, a extremely handsome young she knight riding an equally handsome bay warhorse, tall silver white stallion, uh, come trotting down the way, appraising various market goods, getting the lay of the land.
Tintagel?
Hmm.
I know that we have people who are pretty, but I didn't know we had like Prince Charming kind, you know? So point over to the street.
He casually looks up from his paperwork. What appearance is the character?
7 with a noble specialty.
Ooh my.
Tintagel's just sitting
Yeah.
here with his appearance 4, quirking his eyebrow like. Eh. He'll look at Bells and he'll say, "Yes, well, it does happen after all.
Saying.
Those stories had to be birthed from somewhere, you know."
Yeah, I figured it was just like, wow. Okay then. Not every day.
Just to add to that without dropping the dots, he does have the Prince Charming long flowing golden mane of blonde hair.
Of course he does.
It suits his horse quite well, looking quite regal in the saddle. He's, I would say he goes unarmored, but wearing the livery of his house, clearly a member of House Fiona. Further, although I guess nobody's got quite a good look at him yet, he just has carven perfect features of like pale white marble. Absolutely flawless appearance. And also
Basically
quite
pretty
young.
as fuck.
Pardon?
Oh, so in a sense, pretty as fuck.
Yeah, that sums it up.
Bells takes a good look. Whelp.
Raven will get up from where she had just seated herself, go over and introduce herself. Hello. I don't think we've met. I am Lady Raven Celestis, Knight of House Fiona. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
He was nonchalantly just checking out some merchandise, but when you speak to him, he turns. His sapphire eyes go wide at your appearance also, but he lowers his head and bows from where he sits in his saddle, smiles pleasantly. I am pleased to make your acquaintance, my lady. You are the first Fae of whom I have.
I think we lost you. Of whom I have what?
Oh, he just said, pleased to make your acquaintance. I haven't made the acquaintance of many others yet.
Oh, please, come and join us. My companions and I are seated at a table over yonder. And she'll gesture with her hand.
He nods, dismounts, and tosses some article of clothing back on a rack, and leads his horse. I would be pleased to do so. He also speaks with a French accent, which I can't quite do out of character, but I try.
That's all right. Raven will lead him over to the table. This is Bells and Count Tintangel Flickerflame.
Tintagel will allow his eyes to flick up from his paperwork, and he'll say, I don't know your face. Tonight.
He bows before the count. And I do not know yours, but I am pleased to make your acquaintance, Your Excellency.
Tintagel will look the man up and down, and he'll say, Please, where are my manners? Sit yourself. Have something to eat. Garçon, he'll say. A small bargain will pop its head out of the tavern. Yes, Your Excellency? What would you care to drink, Sir Knight?
Whatever you are having is fine.
Excellent. Another bottle of the Bordeaux 65. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Yeah, of course. I'll be back momentarily. Bargain, 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 bargain. For the record, whenever bargains run, I think of it as bargaining. Tintagel kind of looks down, and he'll kind of look down at his paperwork, and he'll drop the quill he was scratching with on his and kind of cap the ink bottle. He'll casually throw the ink bottle over his shoulder. One of his troll bodyguards will just reach out, catch it midair. So, where do you come to us from, Sir Knight? And your name? My apologies, I didn't catch it.
She smiles as he whispers something to his horse, sending the chimera off, and then takes a seat. No, I did not. I apologize. I am Sir Christian Dubois of House Fiona. Uh, I am new to Dublin and Ireland. My family come from France.
Tintagel will take off his circlet. He's wearing it in public. You'll notice that, interestingly enough, inside his circlet, you'll see the fact that the center of his circlet, rather than having a jewel, has a little clock, and it's got a lot of kind of constantly moving parts. It actually keeps perfect time.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, let's be fair, it's a Dougal circlet. What the fuck did you expect? He'll look up at Bells and he'll kind of quirk an eyebrow, and he'll say, in theory, I should scold you for sitting on the table.
Mean, possibly. And she'll kind of pop down from it and actually get into a seat. Kind of like,
Thank you. Oh, dear.
Bells, for her part, will smile at the sheep. Hello. I am Bells. She who must be scolded.
You still there, man?
You would lose the sheep?
I'm sorry, was somebody talking to my character?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoops. I
Bells,
didn't
introduce yourself.
Oh, Bells the pixie will present herself to the sheep. Just be like, hello, nice to meet you, I'm Bells.
He nods and offers his hand.
She will shake it. Gaze.
Now would be as good a time as any, Pepper, if you want to come in for things.
Yep. Pepper will be riding along through the streets herself. She will be sitting on this guy, who is just fabulous. So fabulous.
You're
not
welcome.
That one. But yeah, Pepper will come along riding. Your classic satyr, albeit she has like white speckles on the legs and seems to err a little more on the deer side than the goat side. But all the same, she will be riding along. She does wear the sash of a knight. It has the House Liam emblem on it. And while she does wear a very fancy circlet, it is not likened to those that are granted as a matter of rank, like the one that Tangel has. It's just very fancy. It's very clearly like some sort of masterworked piece of jewelry. But yeah, she will be riding along on Perryton, just taking it as a slow walk, because it is abundantly clear, I imagine, that Perryton is far more adept at carrying a rider than Pepper is at being a rider. So it's kind of comical because it is more a joint effort than it is her just very casually sitting boldly atop her mount. But yeah, she will be presumably headed home from another numerous hours spent in the library. But yeah, she will come applauding right past this group.
Oh, one thing I did have to point out, Katie, and I did blue bucket. Tintagel has removed all information that would be considered sensitive to any of his projects, and he has started to actively lock his forge.
Okay, I assume that. I mean, I don't even know that she was originally allowed in there, and I don't think any of his schematics were in the library. So
No, I'm just pointing it out, mostly because Alejandro did snitchy things.
yeah, thanks, Alejandro. No, Bambi will still have been expressing interest in seeing and learning, and if If he is willing to let her in when he is working, awesome. But she is not trying to sneak in when he is not there.
That's fair. It was more so just a general, like, his house has become much more guarded than it has been.
Yeah. You know what? She'll even look a little thoughtful as she is plodding past, perhaps even missing, the group assembled in favor of looking a little inward turned, and probably clutching the front of the saddle as opposed to the reins, which are just kind of dangling loose over Perryton's neck because he knows where he's going. It's fine. She really doesn't need to hold them. Though I'll say, if nothing else, Bells' bright ass hair will catch her eye, and she'll just be like, "Oh, hi," little wave.
She'll wave back. Like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, I've been staying in mostly. And she will kind of reach out and just kind of brush this odd winged bird deer's neck, and probably give him a cue to kind of put her to a stop as she talks. Though she will like glance up and see that there are 3 she assembled and be like, "Wow, this is a place I totally don't need to be." So she doesn't necessarily hop down initially, though she does engage with Bells.
How have you been? We have not spoken in quite a while.
Oh, I've been all right. It's been there have been some lively things, but just been kind of working and studying and planning some things with Frograr.
How is our lovable troll?
He's wonderful. He actually came over and stayed the night one night when Rides was out. We managed to talk a good bit. It was nice. His stories are wonderful.
Cool. We met someone new. Do you want to say hi?
Oh, and of course, timing. Oh, of course. Yes, I'm being very rude. She will not gracefully dismount, but blessedly Perryton will get the idea, and he'll hunker down so that she can kind of hop off of him. Cause bless him, he's very good to her. So yeah, Perryton actually like goes all the way down, rests on his
You're
belly
still
so that she
welcome.
can climb off. Huh?
You're still welcome.
No. And she will, give his nearest wing an affectionate, kind of thankful little pat, and let him get back up and wander off to, engage with whatever. But we'll turn around and bob a curtsy to all 3 of the she in turn.
Raven will give a small little bow back.
He catches a fleeting little grin because she's generally pleasant.
Casual
So
offer a head nod.
is something important going on? Should I be doing something? Kind of just
My
because
dear,
there's 3 she in one place. Ugh.
my dear Sir O'Reilly, I assure you, it is not a matter of the more she that congregate in a place, the more likely there is to be trouble. We do occasionally like to converse with one another on matters that do not involve the impending end of life as we know it.
Bells will raise an eyebrow, like, huh. Is that what you guys do? She's like, thoughtful look.
I've just not so many times seen so many of you gathered without it being something important. So shrugs.
It was a jest. Squire, or Sir O'Reilly, or did she go by Sir or Lady?
She doesn't especially seem to show preference. She finds both awkward.
In that case, Sir O'Reilly. That is the. Yes, he will call her Sir O'Reilly until she uses the preface Lady.
Yup. Then, yeah, now that he is back, she will bob a curtsy to this third unrecognized she, because it's just polite.
Good,
Oh, I'm Pepper, Knight of House Liam.
she smiles at you from his seat, um, raises his glass to you. Sir Christian, Knight of House Fiona, he says, introducing himself. Pleased to make all of your acquaintances.
And Bambi will, at least for now, come over to join the table properly.
May I get you a drink, Sir O'Reilly?
Oh, of course.
What do you want?
Cider?
He'll once again snap his fingers and say, Garçon, the boggin will boggin up. He will order the drink. The boggin will boggin off. You can use it on Manny next time you see him if you like.
I will. I'm gonna use it so good. Sooner or later, Pepper will inexplicably, it's not so inexplicable, there's a boggin attached, will end up having a cider and, throwing him a smile and a thank you before looking to the others assembled. So, did I interrupt anything?
Not
I'm
especially, I believe.
I'm merely
Sorry.
doing bookkeeping.
There does seem to be a lot of it to be done. If the archive section of the library is any indication.
It's mostly because with His Majesty investing me with a county. Oh, for the record, I am now Lord of the County of. What was it called? You'll actually see him actively try to remember the name of his own county.
And you know what? Presuming that she has had access to various paperwork as she's been filing and cleaning and tidying, she will potentially even supply the name, whatever it happens to be.
It is the county of the Clockwork Spire.
Cool.
Oh my, how fitting for you.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you, Sir Riley. Yes, my apologies, but unfortunately, getting it organized is an absolute nightmare.
Has no one been watching it?
Well, no, it was created based on the redistribution of other lands via the command of the Crown Prince. So it was quite complicated and affair, I assure you. And then on top of that, like, it's very difficult to do a census with the current plague. And of course, there's also the issue of my brother nobles closing their freeholds, while the rest of us are desperately trying to make sure the peasants don't unravel due to lack of glamour. So all in all, it's been rather stressful as a time.
Ah, that's why you looked extra grumpy today. It's stress.
Mm-hmm. So we're
Is he
trying to
ever-
drink and relax. Relaxing part is not happening so easily.
There's a tiny grin, and she's, looking down at her drink and just kind of teasingly goes, "Do you ever not stressed?"
Nope. Wound up like a clock. But
Well-
she'll say it with like a smile.
I'm
Thank-
given to understand that's a rather apt comparison.
Heather, you're heavy breathing.
Ah, dang it.
Unfortunately, I don't really have time to unstress. We've currently lost at least 3 commoners to this godforsaken plague, and I'm assured that many more are currently teeter on the brink. So my time and efforts are very, very finite at the moment.
The doe ears droop.
I thought Sir
Top of-
Crib was helping you with that.
So Crib is the only thing that's keeping them alive, but only he
So-
can do so much.
He's
Oh,
only one
dear.
man.
Is there anything we can do to
Oh,
aid?
by the way, he will amend himself. It's Baron Crib now.
Oh, is it Baron Crib? Well, bravo.
Yes, when I was invested with my county, I deigned to promote him.
I have been trying to work closely with them on it, but it takes much of his time and attention, and there are many sick and only one Baron to go around.
Unfortunately, the issue is that it is degenerative, so ultimately he can only do so much for so long before it is even his efforts are overwhelmed.
I'm trying to learn enough to help. I might actually be able to start committing time to it if you don't mind me not being able to be around the library as much.
With any luck, it should all be over soon. I currently only lack one reagent needed from the cure.
What do you
That
lack?
One that is complicated. I
What about them
require
is it?
I require silver touched by the light of moonlight itself.
I'm still concerned, Your Excellency, that the hammer may solve one problem but may not solve the whole problem.
What do you mean?
Well, the typhoid may be using the sickness, may be making it worse, but this is founded on a pre existing disease. And with the typhoid gone, it may do away with the worst of it, but that disease is still very deadly.
Is this what that troll told you?
I was there,
There's absolutely no evidence to suggest that's the case.
but there was. It looks exactly the same. I saw the story. It was carved into the walls in a place where dragons had lived. The pictures, the way the disease looked, is very much like the one we're suffering now. We will be going to look into it further. Fargrar is planning a trip. I spoke to shit, what's the dragon's name? I had it for a while. She will spout out a very strange sounding name. And we were able to find out where we could go to see if it is spreading, to see if it is the same. But it may not be one simple solution, and a hammer is a strange choice for something to battle illness, Your
Why?
Excellency. One does not generally treat a sickness with a hammer.
No, but one needs to slay a typhoid with it.
What if slaying the typhoid does not do away with the disease?
I have yet to be presented with any evidence that it won't. You have a theory, Miss Pepper, or Sir O'Reilly, rather. You and Frograr have a theory. You do not have proof. You do not have evidence.
You don't have proof that we're wrong either.
I have an exceptional memory, Sir O'Reilly, and an exceptional collection of lore, and I have never heard anything about this. And I am a scholar of such matters.
If it is any explanation, the disease was contracted after the dragons were chased into hiding. It is a time that I don't know that she would know about. If only because that is precisely who they were hiding from. I think we only found it and know about it because we went to one of the places where they were in hiding and saw the story that they carved into the walls.
Okay. Then I have a question for you, if you will indulge me.
Of course, Your Excellency.
So, you maintain that this plague is an entity that has, or virulence that has wreaked havoc in the dreaming before, yes?
At least in certain places. I believe it was confined to the graveyards that the dragons left behind before now.
And what evidence do you have to support this?
The fact that we saw the story, the fact that the dragons knew what we were talking about, and they've told us where the graveyard is. We mean to go there.
A postulation. If indeed the disease is not slain with the slaying of the typhoid, the entity that we know categorically causes disease, this is a fact of the dreaming,
Of course.
then there may be some merit to your suggestion. However, I would ask, why now? It's had
Why?
thousands of years. Why is it that this virulence has only decided to re-up its head now?
It's
If
very
it is indeed something
possible,
more.
Your Excellency, that the typhoid is the reason that it's spreading. As opposed to being the source of the disease, it could be spreading what was already there. It could be making it stronger, making it worse.
But if you enter into the realm, if this does exist, if slaying the typhoid stops the disease, puts a stopper in it, right?
It may keep
As
it from spreading further, Your Excellency, but it may not cure those who are already ill. For what it's worth, she's like nervously playing with her hands and whatnot. She is not comfortable in having this debate.
he is actively kind of like, he will say, I have a ponderance for you.
Of course, Your Excellency.
It may actually soothe your mental logic.
Okay.
You are now sworn to a member of my house, aren't you?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Yes. Why don't you show her? He'll actually hold up a rolled up copy of his own designs, and he'll say, why don't you show her this and ask her if I'm mistaken?
And she will kind of tentatively reach out to accept it. If it's the same as what was on the flyers, I have, Your Excellency. She
And
doesn't seem very convinced that it will serve the purpose of curing those who are ill.
in what manner?
It's a hammer, Your Excellency. Its purpose is not to cure.
A hammer can build as much as it can destroy.
These
This is a metaphor.
people don't
No,
need.
my question is not as to. I'm asking if she believes that my design, not my design, is wrong. My selection of the ingredients to slay the disease, the grand metaphor. One Dougal to another, they will understand. I contemplated this when I assembled the ingredients needed to cure all disease, to slay plague itself. I'm merely curious if she disagrees with me on the matter, as I don't think she will.
I can show her. If this is something different, I can show her and I can ask.
It's more so the fact that I'm trying to allay your fears as to the matter, because if she says I am not mistaken, then it may mean something to you.
It will. I'm sure it will slay the typhoid, Your Excellency, but I'm not sure it will slay a disease that the typhoid didn't create.
He will look around at the others and he will say, my most incredible apologies. I did not mean to monopolize the conversation so, but talk of my work always does so. I shall beg the table's forgiveness.
And no apologies necessary, Count. This is a matter of some importance. May I make a suggestion?
There's a
Maybe
kind of
it's.
a flick of the wrist. Oh, sorry, continue, Katie.
Oh, go ahead. Maybe it's just been like slowly deflating over the course of this entire conversation. It's kind of comical. She just gets smaller and smaller.
From where I sit, with the knowledge that I have, both of your positions seem sound and reasonable. I see no reason for either of you to stop pursuing it. If we kill the typhoid, and the plague does not end with her, and those who are sickened are not cured, then we may, by that time, already have knowledge gleaned from Sir O'Reilly and Farragar of a cure or a balm that would ease the symptoms.
In a sense, it doesn't hurt to let them try. Is that what you mean, Lady Raven?
In short, yes.
If nothing else, between the two, surely. I just want you to be aware and not to be cross with us being concerned and looking into more.
Either way, we will come out of this with more answers than we currently have.
Tiny nod. And she'll take the scroll and probably be holding it, kind of carefully in her lap with a hand over it.
As I've said, he will say as he kind of puts down, he'll roll up the last of his parchments, and he will say, as I've said, I specifically chose the ingredients I have chosen. When this hammer is pressed to someone, regardless the injury, regardless the disease, regardless the malady, it will be cured. That is its design.
I truly hope so, Your Excellency.
He will smile, and Tintagel doesn't normally smile, which is a bit weird, and he'll say, you will have to learn in your own service that we do will get incredibly possessive of our ideas. I must ask your forgiveness if I
Oh,
was
no, I
rash
understand.
or fast.
I do have a question, my lord, of
Mm,
the bowl. Can you give its description once more?
I give a description of what, sir?
The bowl of the moon touch silver.
Ah, that is it, essentially. Silver touched by moonlight itself.
And I imagine it is more complicated than simply taking a piece of silver and allowing it to bask in the moonlight.
You would think that, yes.
Is it not?
In a manner of speaking.
How close to the moon do you have to get?
Therein lies the question. It is not necessarily literal, in the sense that I could leave a slab of silver out all night under the pale moonlight. However, ultimately, that's not necessarily the story of that silver. It
What
needs to
is
be
the story?
more representative of that. I had several ideas as to it.
Oh, I think I understand better now. Okay.
What is the
In
story? I'm unfamiliar.
It is more so a fact that if I was to take the easy and simplest option, it would not be as effective as if I took the storied and
Mm.
odd option.
Perhaps I should dig deeper into the library.
I've already thought of several ideas that it could be. Several of them are more easy to acquire than others. A lock of hair from my that would be interesting. A lock of hair from our Tharlane cousins would be interesting. The She's Tharlane cousins.
They are
I
described as moonlight.
Yes. I can't remember what they're called, the evil she. Fuck. Give me a second, because this is going to bother the shit out of me until I find it out. Darlene. Darlene, here we go. They're called. Boggarts, bogies, ghasts, goblins. I can't even pronounce that. Kelpies, lurks. Mandingos? The fuck?
Yeah, it gets weird.
Mellow, nasties, night hags, ogres, servitol. That's the word. A lock of hair from our servitol kin would possibly suit the bill.
Where would one find one of them?
I've got no. Oh well, I do know one.
Oh,
Lord
Getting the hair, I
Keldon.
imagine.
Hmm?
Getting the hair, I imagine, is harder than it would be.
I would rather not ask Lord Keldonoth for a handful of his hair.
is
Though
there?
he does, though he does owe me a favor. Now that I recall, possible. There are several other options. One option I was contemplating was the possibility of maybe you having someone with Wayfair physically teleport the said item to the moon and back.
Your Excellency, well, I hate to sound impertinent.
Hmm.
Does it really matter? Well, I'm sure it matters, but we need to choose now. We need to do it now. People are dying.
Yes, yes, they are. Hmm. Hmm.
If there's some advice you can give so that some of us can move, even if we go for several at the same time, as long as someone brings back something that works.
I will ponder it this evening, and I will contemplate it. I will see what I can see, and I will make my decision tomorrow. And then hopefully we'll be able to ascertain it. On an out of character note, the one that Evan really wants to do is take a bar of silver and have it touched by a werewolf, because that just seems badass, and being touched by moonlight itself, come on, that's amazing.
Sounds like
It-
several terrible ideas.
Yes.
It's a series of terrible ideas, but all the same. We can't choose the one that means you have to wait.
Huh? Fine, I may have to go and ask Kelton for a favor. Sigh, shudder, sigh. But he will contemplate as he sits back in his chair. My apologies, Sir Christian. It would seem as though you come to a kingdom beset by woes on frankly every side, and that's all we seem to talk about, really.
One cannot blame Lord for being concerned with the troubles of the realm. Having listened to many of them just now, am concerned myself for the realm I now find myself in.
I'm curious, what brings you to our fine realm when it was finer?
He smirks at that, looks down at his cup. Well, at my age, one must go where one's family goes.
You have kin here?
Pardon?
You have family here.
Oh, yes, a mother and sister.
I know the feeling. Moving around because your family has to.
He shrugs. New challenges. I do miss the weather, but
I assure you, if nothing else, the food here is better.
he smirks again. Just aside, Your Excellency, if I might be of aid to you, if your realm requires a strong sword arm, I offer it to you.
You'll see him stroke his chin with one finger, like kind of Interesting.
Well, before this devolves into talk about the war on top of everything else, I think I should probably head home. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for inviting me to sit and for the drink.
You're quite welcome, my dear.
And as she, hops up, little clippity claps. As she bypasses Tatandrel on her way to collect Perryton, she will, as must be done, because Tatandrel is grumpy and there's only one solution. Thrust out a hand and say simply, "Piece of candy?"
God damn it, woman. He will
I mean, it's his
accept.
candy.
How much of it has she actually eaten, and how much of it is she just giving back to him?
She has a good amount of it, and she'll eat pieces here and there, but she does not just hoard candy all the time, so it's gonna last.
He will accept the piece of candy. He will
Candy.
look up at Christian and he'll say, "Indeed. Well, as I said, I have a realm to take care of at the moment, and also my duties to the king. Or to the king, and I'm the direct vassal of the king's son, the crown prince, and Duke Lianon is my liege lord, etc., etc., etc. But if you are interested in employment, then yes, my castle is located not far from here to the north. Come there tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll be able to find something for you to do."
I am grateful for the offer, and I will surely accept. He bows his head, takes a sip of
Nothing
wine.
official. Nothing official yet, you understand. Merely seeing if how things work out.
No, I understand. Although it would be a great honor to join the retinue of a count, especially one in the direct employ of the king. No, I am concerned for the matters of this typhoid, as you say. This concern me, as does the plague and so many other things.
Yes, with any luck, the plague should be dealt with soon. May the dreaming and the Tuatha listen to my pleas.
I confess the only plagues I was aware of were the black and perhaps potato.
Unfortunately, typhoids are not necessarily, they exist, Dantain of the worst kind, but what can one do?
As it lives and breathes.
So too does the pestilence spread.
Does, my lord,
Hmm.
well, Bambi and Farbarel do have their ideas. Lady Raven does have a point. Well, they both, in a sense, have a point. Sending us out in what could possibly be. We are here to be of use. And frankly, you were right about earlier. If we don't solve something, Ulster's just going to take over. If we have no one to rule, then what is a kingdom?
I do not believe, as the troll and as Bells, or not Bells, and as Sir O'Reilly believes. I don't. I have seen no evidence to support that this is anything more than a typhoid's infection. I have given incredible amounts of thought into this item. This is a legendary treasure. The making of such has not been attempted in our lifetime. I have not attempted to do so in this lifetime. This is the ultimate tool to slay this disease and all diseases, all impurities, all concepts, and all figuratives of unwell will be slain by this weapon to strike it down. And as I said, a hammer is just as much a tool to build as it is a tool to destroy. But yes, to answer your point, If I am in some way mistaken, if the dreaming itself falls down upon their heads, our heads rather, I would say that yes, having an idea where to go from there is indeed an excellent idea.
I meant more
However,
so about looking for the silver.
oh, my apologies.
I don't
We're
assume
she. We can,
that
she rants are necessary. They keep our equilibrium.
I know that you have researched fully, and I know that they probably fully believe it as well. Matter of fact is, you are closer to your answer than they are to theirs. If you need assistance, let us assist you. It's not as to say who is right and who is wrong, is who can find the answer now while we still have people to save. Other than that, I have no concerns because I want to save these people. If we don't, then we're, forgive my French, I guess, forgive my Spanish, we're fucked either way.
Language, Miss Bells. Language.
I said forgive my Spanish. I didn't do well in Spanish class. So if it comes out muted, I apologize.
Very well then. Tonight I will write a letter to the personage whom may be able to supply me this and see what he will ask as a price. After that, we'll just have to see where it all goes from there.
Are there any other ways? Anything else that we can probably use?
I did think the concept of using Wayfair to teleport some silver onto the moon was not a terrible idea.
Surviving it is another matter.
I mean, I wasn't intending to go after it, my dear.
We'd have to use the silver. Picking it up might be a bit of an issue.
Uh, hmm, very well. I don't know, honestly. I will come up with some ideas this evening as it pertains other possibilities, and I will let you all know tomorrow. Is that agreeable to you, Miss Bells?
It is always agreeable, whatever you do. Who am I to question? She'll give
He
me a
will
smile.
he will reach up and ruffle Bells' hair.
Hmm. She enjoys her position as adorable.
I mean, she's like the only
Not
person. She's like the only person who can talk shit to him and not get hit.
because he knows she means it in only good faith.
Mhm. All right, guys. As it is getting to be stupid late in the morning, I'm gonna call the scene there because I need to get some sleep.
Sleep.
Alrighty.
Night.
So, thank you, players, playing. Thank you, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin. Peace, y'all.